Hi guys. Can I ask you a few questions? Do you have any smart devices like CCTV, baby monitor, video doorbell, that kind of stuff?
Yes, doorbell.
CCTV.
CCTV.
Is it for baby?
Yes.
So when you bought it, did you change the password or use the default password?
We didn't use default actually. We changed password actually.
I think I changed the password.
You think so?
I also asked you at home if you have smart home devices that have a camera function.
So hey guys, I'm working on a story for Talking Point and I need your help.
About 400 of you voted. 63% said, yes, you do.
And are you worried?
And 77% said, you are worried that your smart home devices, like security cameras, can be hacked. Not surprising, because in 2020, 50,000 home cameras from Singapore were hacked. And the images shared on chat platform Discord.
When we talk about cameras in our homes, it seems like everyone has one these days. And I'm not just talking about CCTV cameras. There are so many other smart home devices that often come with a camera installed too, like this baby monitor or this video doorbell. So in this episode of Talking Point, I want to find out just how easy it might be to hack our smart home devices.
To find out if I am at risk, I need to find out what I'm up against. So I'm making my way to this store, which sells a range of smart home devices.
Cameras exist in a wide range of devices. So there are some television with built-in cameras, right, so that you can do video conferencing, or even robot vacuum cleaners, automated pet feeding machine, and we have cameras that exist even in smoke alarm sensors.
Smoke alarm?
When the alarm goes off, you'll be able to see a live feed. You can determine whether it's a false alarm or is it real. And cameras also exist in other devices like your Amazon and Google hubs.
Okay, all those devices that I talk to and I can say, hey Google or something.
That's correct.
Ah, okay. So it sounds like they can be everywhere in my home.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. These are the more traditional cameras. I've seen these. You often use this to monitor, the kids at home.
Or even elderlies.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And when we talk about demand, would you say there's a lot of demand for such devices these days?
Yeah. 2 years back, out of 10 customers, perhaps only 1 or 2 were asked. But say the past year or this year alone, we have about 5 out of 10 customers asking about smart device.
About 250 of our poll respondents said they have smart devices with cameras at home. The most common device? These home CCTVs, which can cost up to 200 Singapore dollars. But online, you can find them at a fraction of the price. Some as low as 20 Singapore dollars. But just how vulnerable are these devices to hacking? I'm going to put these home cameras to the test. The Talking Point team bought 2 smart cameras, one from an online shop and another from a physical store. But here's the catch.
Hey Steve, we got you this camera.
Okay.
We want you to install it in your home and we're trying to hack you.
Hack me? You mean like spy on me?
It's not just me as bait. We're also installing a camera in the home of my fellow host, Shrey. Helping us out in this experiment is another Steve. Steve Kerrison, that is. He's done research on information security for the past 7 years.
Hey, Steve.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Always a good name.
It is.
This experiment that you're going to conduct, how's it actually going to work?
Well, I don't want to give away all of my secrets, right? That would be no fun. But there are a few methods I'll be using. You won't know when it's happening, hopefully.
I won't know?
No.
So it's not like the light's going to be blinking or something?
No, hopefully not. But then I guess we'll see later if I'm successful with these methods.
Okay.
Certainly some of them are very common, and others perhaps a little bit more specialized.
Okay, so I just got to be prepared. Anytime you might be spying on me.
Who's to say?
Okay, I'll just make sure I'm fully clothed all the time.
Yes.
I've chosen to install this camera in my dining area.
Download the app, plug it in, pretty much it. Unlike other guys, we don't read instructions.
And Shrey in his bedroom.
Okay, so I can either configure this through my phone or a computer. So we're gonna go with the phone. There it is.
Connecting to Wi-Fi.
It's configuring.
Wi-Fi connection successful.
Okay, I can now see myself on the screen. Hi, it's working.
Now we wait to see if Dr. Kerrison and his team manage to infiltrate our homes. It's been 3 days since we had smart cameras installed in our homes. It's time to speak to Steve Kerrison and see if he's managed to access our cameras.
I'm almost afraid to ask you, what did you find? Were you able to get in?
Well, shall we have a look?
Yeah, that means you were able to get in. Oh no.
All right, so you're admiring your own artwork there.
Oh my, okay.
And we can skip through and see what you were up to. Yeah.
Oh no.
But this one is particularly interesting.
Okay.
Because you were in view of the camera and your devices were in view as well. So I could see what your your browsing habits. And then you got your laptop out, which was great because I got a great look at your schedule for the day from your calendar. So yeah, quite an invasion of privacy.
Okay. How were you able to get in?
Let me ask you a question. Did you get any security updates for the camera?
After I installed it, requested that I should do an update. So I didn't think anything of it and I clicked yes.
This was the email I got, prompting me to click on a link to update my camera. Once I clicked on the link, I was brought to a website where I had to log in with my credentials.
Can you remember what that update did?
It said it would update, send me to a website. I had to log in with the details I used to log into my camera.
Yeah.
And then I got a PIN number. It sent a PIN to my phone through the camera app.
Yep.
Which is why I thought, okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
If it's legit, it would come in that way.
Yeah. Well, it was all fake. It was actually a phishing email.
Oh my, okay.
So you put your initial details in,
Right.
and I collected those, and I immediately tried to log in to the application, which then asked you for that PIN code. It sent you a PIN code, right, to authenticate me logging in, and then you gave me that as well.
Oh,
so I typed that in, and then away we went.
All because I clicked on a phishing link which allowed Steve Kerrison to access the cameras app on my phone.
So the PIN number really did come from the camera app?
It did, yeah. So here's my screen, and yeah, here I was entering the code you kindly sent me.
Okay, wow, that's really scary because the fact that it came from the app made sense to me, and I thought, you know, two-step authentication, I'm being careful, I'm putting the PIN number, but I never thought it would be because somebody else is trying to log in somewhere else.
Well, there you go. It's exactly the same kind of discipline we need with say, banking applications as well. Got to be very careful where we give this information to and where we put those codes.
Okay. At that point in time, I essentially given away my user ID and password.
You made a simple mistake.
Yeah.
Under plausible circumstances, that's what happens. It's the human element often. So I didn't really hack any cameras in this particular example. I hacked you.
Yeah, that's right. What about Shrey? What would you be able to do
Right. So in his particular case, this camera has default settings that are quite insecure. I was looking around when he was setting up his camera.
While he was setting it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a window of opportunity before he's finished setting it up where somebody nearby can also jump in and make changes. That's basically what happened. but
Okay.
I said nearby, right? So this is a very, very
like
targeted attack.
So this method would be very intentional, I guess, because I would have to literally follow the guy. I know he bought a camera. He's going to set it up. How near? I mean, within 100 meters?
Definitely within 100 meters, because Wi-Fi is usually
Right.
about that.
In Shrey's case, Steve Garrison had exploited a vulnerability in his camera itself, which allowed multiple users to connect to the camera while it's being configured. It was a cheaper camera bought online for just 37 Singapore dollars.
That was step one,
Okay.
but there was 2 steps.
Oh, okay.
So the other thing I did while I was in, I actually configured the camera to send me an email
Yep.
whenever it detected a person moving.
Once access is gained, anyone can slip in instructions to the camera. In this case, Steve Garrison had instructed Shrey's camera to only send screenshots when there was movement.
So I actually have some great footage of him reading the instructions, trying to figure out what to do with it. And he's got his phone out and he's trying to get the app installed and set it all up and get it connected to his home Wi-Fi.
I see.
It's high value target stuff. How likely is it? This one, I don't think is one the majority of people will be worrying about.
Okay.
But that's not to say manufacturers can't improve some of these things so that, especially companies who want to buy their products, are more secure.
What about other devices in my home? You know, my baby monitor, those video doorbells, anything else that has a camera?
They're pretty much the same as a security camera, right?
Yeah.
If we think about the technology in them, a camera, maybe microphone,
Yeah.
they've got a computer chip and some kind of Wi-Fi connection.
Okay.
So yes, is the short answer.
So in this case, actually, why would people want to hack into our systems? What's the value, you know, Shrey and I would have to offer?
Of course, there's that voyeuristic element,
Yeah.
right? Some people just want to get into cameras to see in other people's homes, and that's the I think people are the most creeped out by, and that's very reasonable. But there are other things attackers can learn by having access, right? They know your activities, your movements, your habits,
Okay.
and that can be useful for them for, say, burglaries,
Right.
finding out what's in your home through your cameras.
That's true.
Your doorbell camera, for example.
Right.
It's exactly the point in your home that you're trying to keep the most secure.
Yeah.
And yet you also want the ability to view it from outside. So if
Uh-huh.
someone else gains that capability, they might even be able to unlock your front door as well,
Yeah,
right? That's a
that's
big
right.
deal. And in your case,
My online banking.
and I don't necessarily need the screen, I can also just see what you're typing on the keyboard, right?
Ah.
The other interesting thing, of course, is a lot of these smart devices are part of an ecosystem.
Okay.
So there's one app to control them all.
I'm more vulnerable to a certain extent because you just
Yeah.
need to hack one.
Potentially,
Yeah.
yeah. There's other ways beyond that as well. Some devices, they have in their settings your Wi-Fi password, and it's not secured enough.
Right.
And an attacker, once they get control over the camera, can get in.
The camera is essentially the first step in. You've got your foot in the door.
Yeah.
I think it's time we show Shrey what Steve Garrison was able to do.
Oh wow. He's managed to get videos. What's this? Oh, he's configured it to send screen grabs to himself. Oh, they seem to be coming in whenever I move in front of the camera. Yeah, so he's managed to hack the camera while I was setting it up, and auto emails are just going in to him, giving away photos and screen grabs. Yeah, that's terrifying.
How do you feel knowing that you bought a camera that was vulnerable?
I mean, the crazy thing is, looking at the packaging, it's like any other device you would find on any online shopping, right? So it didn't look like it would be vulnerable. I mean, it came with a proper manual and everything like that. So ordinarily, if I had purchased that camera, I wouldn't have suspected anything. So that to me is terrifying because we always go online looking for the best deals and you never know what you're getting, so.
And if you own other smart home devices, is there anything that you do differently?
I guess I would have to be a lot more careful in adding new devices.
I've learned how a hacker can gain access to my home CCTV. But Steve Garrison says once in, criminals can literally access all my smart home devices. I'm about to find out how. This is Siddhan Shrivastava. For the past 8 years, he and his team have been studying how smart devices can be used against us. For this experiment, Siddhan has created a version of the typical Wi-Fi network in homes, where all smart devices of varying brands are connected to one master Wi-Fi router. You can then control all the devices via a single app. In this setup, Siddhan has gained access into the smart camera. He's going to show me what can happen with just one device being hacked.
The easiest way to make a home smart is to just put a lot of smart plugs, the 4 plugs that you see over there.
But basically, I can have an ordinary light,
Yeah.
plug it into a smart plug, and then now it can be controlled
Yeah.
remotely.
Whether it's your charger, your toaster, your fridge, or your fan, you can easily connect it to your phone.
This is very normal nowadays. On this app, you
Yeah.
can basically do anything, right?
Yeah. So now I'll switch all these things off.
Okay.
I'll show the end result of what an attacker can achieve by getting into the home system.
Siddhan exploited a vulnerability in a home CCTV whose security has not been updated, allowing him direct control of this device and every other smart device in the network.
I'm inside the operating system of the camera here. With a simple script that they write, they can instantly switch on all these devices while you're sleeping, for example. And here you can see that I can basically try to understand what the home network is like. So I can ping different devices. See, I'm getting responses from devices on the network.
Okay.
Just through the camera.
Once in, Siddhan is able to see what other devices are connected to the network. This information is enough for him to find additional vulnerabilities in these other devices.
Are you in my Wi-Fi network?
Yeah. We have not only got into the camera, we can use the camera as our hub, like as our control and command center to control the rest of the home network.
Oh, so through the camera, you were
Yeah.
able to then get hold of the rest of the network
Yeah.
in the home. And then once you have a foothold there, you're pinging, you're sending out signals, you're hitting different spots and seeing what comes back.
Yes.
Right? And then eventually you find another weak spot. So I guess the more weak spots, then the more you can spread out and gather more information.
Yeah.
And at some point in time, you can control everything.
Yeah. On the surface, it might look like, oh, this attacker just has access to a smart light. This minor weakness in one of the devices can lead to a major chain reaction across the entire network.
Your Wi-Fi router acts as the central point in your home's cyber ecosystem. Smart devices connect to this network in the same way we connect our phone or computers to our home Wi-Fi. If a vulnerable or compromised device is added to this network, say your home CCTV, the rest of the devices on your network are at risk. Imagine you're on your laptop connected to your home Wi-Fi, entering your password, downloading your bank statement, and remotely printing it. All this information sent through the router can be intercepted because of your compromised home camera. This entry point also allows hackers to look for vulnerabilities in your other smart devices. That's why I came here. This is Singapore's Cybersecurity Agency, dedicated to protect the nation's cyber infrastructure. I want to know how I can protect myself.
What can we do to sort of keep ourselves safe?
In 2020, we have introduced the Cybersecurity Labeling Scheme.
I have to admit, I have not heard of this labeling scheme. What is it and how does it work?
So similar to energy labeling scheme, I'm sure
Yeah.
you've seen that yellow stickers that's pasted on refrigerators
Yeah,
and
yeah,
aircons
that's right.
that uses number of ticks to illustrate energy efficiency. Similarly, we are using this cybersecurity label that comprises of 4 levels, from 1 to 4, to give consumer an easier task in terms of identifying which
Okay.
are more secure products.
So 1 star is the worst, 4 star is the best.
Precisely. That's simple enough for even my grandmother to understand.
Okay, fair point.
Level 1 has very minimum encryption only for sending credential.
Right.
So level 2 incorporates additional requirement for ensuring that even your data is encrypted in storage on device as well as when it's transmitted. And it includes other requirements like making sure that the developers disclose what their data they are collecting from you and what they're going to use it for.
I see.
Level 3 ensures that there's no known vulnerability that hackers can exploit. And level 4, essentially we test to simulate attack on the device themselves to make sure that it is resistant to common cybersecurity attacks.
Oh, in other words, they've actually done their own testing as well.
Precisely, that's right.
With a level 2 device or higher, I'm able to protect myself from people snooping in on the data as it goes through my router.
We have around about 650 products that has already received the label.
Okay.
Out of that, 300 is pretty much routers and close to 200 being IP cameras.
Our home CCTV cameras are also known as IP cameras. The one installed in my home came with a level 1 CLS label, but the one installed in Shrey's home had no label. This would explain why the camera itself had a vulnerability for hackers to exploit.
What if I find out that my camera has been compromised, someone has been able to get into it? What should I do next?
First of all, don't panic, but important to take these few steps immediately. Disconnect the device from your network to prevent unauthorized access. So this will cut off the access from the hackers. Step 2, report to the manufacturers, the police, or even CSA citizen.
Really?
So step 3, again, given that it's already compromised, means that potentially there could be already malware infected in the devices. So it's important that we should immediately then do a factory reset. Step 4, look for the security updates and install the patches that fix the vulnerabilities.
Okay, well, I guess I have no need for this anymore. I'm gonna ditch it, or at the very least give it a factory reset since I know it's been compromised. But you know what? I've got a whole bunch of other smart cameras in my home. So I'm gonna go around and check on each of them to make sure they all have the latest security patches, just to be safe. Let's take a look at this guy. Yep, as expected, my router is pretty old, so it has no cybersecurity rating at all. I guess I'm gonna get a new one, at least that way I'll feel a little bit more secure.